Hello, good afternoon, California. It is Tuesday, and we are so excited to be with you. Again, the Our Promise campaign, trying to skew things a little bit differently this year and go virtual with all of our programming. And today's no exception. In fact, I am honored to be once again joined by our 2020 chair, Mr. Josh Fryday. Thank you so much, Josh, for being here with us. It's an honor and a privilege.
Always fun to be with you, Patrick. That is
So
fun.
we thought it would be fun to do another chat with you, as we've had a couple months now of the campaign under our belt, and we're getting into sort of, gosh, the final last few days here. And I was just wanting to touch base and see how you're feeling about how things are going and how you have been doing yourself during these past couple months.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you, Patrick. Thanks for taking the time and for us to give an update on this, and also a final push, because we are towards the end of the campaign. It's hard to believe that we're there already, and our hope is to finish strong, because we've started strong. It's really been inspiring to see our state workers step up in a big way during a really incredibly challenging time for everybody. And so it's been inspiring to see that, but we're making a final push because there's a lot of need out there. We talked about this last time. The unemployment is high. People are still facing the consequences of the pandemic, and our nonprofits are stepping up in huge ways. And now we're asking every state employee to step up to support those nonprofits. So we feel good, and we're just going to keep pushing strong.
What you bring up is so on point, Josh, because throughout the campaign, we've had the opportunity to chat with a ton of nonprofits, similar to how we're talking today, via Skype and things of that nature. And one of the common threads that we've heard from all of them is that they've had to pivot dramatically, right, during the ongoing pandemic, and that, as you mentioned, their needs have not gone away. In fact, they've increased. And so for them, programs like the Our Promise campaign, particularly this year, are even more important.
That's right. That doesn't surprise me. And we've seen that everywhere. We're working with the food banks, who saw a dramatic increase right at the beginning of COVID, and expected that increase to go down. And it hasn't. In fact, it's just gone up, like you said. And we're seeing that kind of need, especially in our most vulnerable communities, those who need the help the most, just continue to go up, which is why this year's Our Promise campaign is so, I think, uniquely special, because the need is greater than it's been in a long time, and our nonprofits are stepping up in a huge way to fill the gaps. And so that's why we need to support them, and we have this incredible opportunity. I mean, there's over 300,000 state employees. What an incredible community that we're a part of, right? That we get to be a part of, which means if you think about, we're asking every employee to just commit to, at a minimum, $5 a month for the year towards your favorite charity. And if you think about what that could add up to, I mean, we're talking about tens of millions of dollars to support those who need it the most. And so just to even be part of that community is inspiring. And then to think about how we can, as a community of state employees, how we can support the nonprofits that are really doing the hard work on the ground during this time. And as you said, this is an extraordinary time where the need is higher than it's been in a really, really long time.
It's crazy and wonderful to think that a donation of just $5 can have such a dramatic impact. I was chatting with you prior to jumping on this interview, and we were saying that, or we had pulled the stats, and already, Josh, this is really exciting. Over 5,000 state employees have signed up digitally to become donors this year alone. And that has got to be an exciting number to hear. I mean, certainly we can get higher with it, but yes. Are you encouraged by the fact that the campaign has moved digital and what you've seen with that?
Yeah, just as the rest of the world has gone virtual and has had to accommodate to this new world, so has our Promise campaign. and people have adapted. So the fact that we've created already over 5,000 accounts is fantastic. We're going to keep pushing harder. We need to get higher. We need more people to step up in a big way. But it's a strong start, and it shows that people are willing to step up. And they have. And now we, for everyone who has started an account, we need you to get a colleague and a friend to do the same, to be like you, because since you're the leader. But no, we're seeing great response so far, and people are stepping up, and now we're going to finish strong and end with a bang.
That's right. That is right. In your professional work with the California Volunteers under the Governor Gavin Newsom administration, you guys have been tasked with so much this year. I mean, in addition to COVID, the ongoing pandemic, the wildfires, and how devastating those have been for portions of our state. I mean, can you speak to just sort of how you've witnessed California kind of come together overall to help with all of these ongoing sort of issues and troubling times that we've had this year?
Yeah, I'd love to, because it's what we focus on and work on every single day. And I really credit the governor's leadership, who from the very beginning said, if we're going to get through this, we're going to have to, even though in many ways we have to do it apart, because that's the way we do it safely, like for the pandemic, for example. But the way we're going to get through this and emerge stronger is together. And he really called on all Californians to come together, to step up, to volunteer in communities, which we've seen people do all throughout California. And then if you just think about the collective sacrifice that people have made in our state to protect themselves, protect their families, protect their communities, and try to get through this pandemic, it's truly remarkable if you think about it. And then, like you said, you add the fires on top of it, and the other crises that we've had. It's been a lot. I was at a donation center a couple months ago in Santa Cruz, where people just lost their homes. And we're at a donation center because the whole community had come together to provide resources for those who did lose their homes. And they just talked about how tough it was during, to have crisis after crisis, but how uplifting it was to see that people were willing to step up for them when they had lost everything, and that gave them hope. And that's really what we're trying to do. We have the ability, I think, with this Our Promise campaign, to give people hope, and that's empowering during this tough time. And if I was to sort of add anything on just from my own personal experience of what these last several months has been like, because we're all dealing with these crises. It's difficult for everyone. We're dealing with distance learning with our kids at home. We're dealing with air that's tough to breathe outside. Is that we're looking for reasons to be hopeful about the future, and reasons to feel that we actually have the ability to make a difference. And for me, that's what this Our Promise campaign has been. That when I have the ability to support an organization that's making a difference, that feels powerful to me. That feels like I'm not just powerless in this situation. I can actually do something to support others and help us get through this as a state together. So I actually think it's incredibly empowering to be part of this, and would just recommend for anyone who has a chance to go on and give and be part of the Our Promise campaign, to know that there's just enormous personal satisfaction in knowing that you can be part of the solution and that you are part of the solution.
Absolutely beautiful, inspiring words, Josh. Thank you again so much for your leadership throughout this campaign, and particularly now as we're heading into that home stretch when folks can still contribute. It's really so impactful and so important, and we appreciate you. Yeah. If folks watching want to learn more about the program and how they can get involved, just go to ourpromiseca.org. Josh, thanks again so much for all of your time and your leadership. It is truly, truly appreciated.
Thank you. And give today. Everyone watching, give today. We need you. California needs you. Thanks, Patrick.
That's right. Thank you.